and this is it. But I held on. And I've watched as so-called friends turn and walked away. And it hurt me so much, I didn't have words left to say. Even when my day turns to night, nothing seems just right. Lord, I thank you for my life. For my life. Lord, I thank you. Yes, I do. For every victory in you I've seen, yeah, and for the moment, every moment, God, I know it was you that kept me, yeah, thank you, Lord, for my life. Okay, I watched you take my family from back there to here. And when times were a little rough, God was always near. Yes, He was. And at the moments I thought I failed, I was reminded of His nails. So I held on. By the grace of God, I held on. And if I never live to see another day, there is nothing I would change or take away. Oh no, I've had so many ups that they far outweigh my downs. Lord, I thank you for my life. I realize some people did not make it. I could have been one of the ones who lost my way. And there were times in my life I almost went crazy. Oh, but I'm still here. By the grace of God, I'm still here. Oh, my sister, I'm still here. And I'm grateful for my life. It may not be all that I had hoped for. And every dream has not yet been realized. Oh, but I found joy because to see His face, Lord, to see your face one day, I know all of this is gonna be worth it. Oh, so I thank you, Lord, for every door you've opened, every way that I know you made. God, I thank you, Lord, for keeping me, for shielding me, for protecting me. Thank you, Lord. Oh, yeah. I just want to take the time to tell Him, thank you, Jesus, for my life. Oh, thank you, Lord, for my life.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the AAMI Homecoming 2017 and Black History Month celebration. To all faculty, staff, administrators, visitors, friends, and guests, I welcome you. I would like to thank three people who really helped AMI and make sure it is a good program. The first person I would like to thank is Dr. Charles Patterson, our president. I would like to thank Mr. Sam Miller, Vice President of Student Affairs, but I do not see him. Let's give him a hand. I would like to thank Mr. Cody King, Vice President of Business and Finance, who just walked in. Let's give him a hand. And I also would like to thank Reverend Mathis Wright, who's the president of the NAACP here in Americas, but I do not see him. Let's give him a hand. Are there any speakers here who have spoke for AMI before? No. Any alumni? Wow. Well, I will say welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy the program. And I would like to introduce to you Mr. Christopher Warren, a freshman here in AMI.
Good afternoon. Academic excellence and social responsibility is the motto of the African American Male Institute here at Georgia Southwestern. We end all our meetings with the slogan, spread the word across the nation. This is going to be a great generation. On this occasion, I would like to say that unity in our community and on our campus is important for the total education of all our students. Everyone of all races has played an important role in the history of Georgia Southwestern, and we must learn from the past to make a better future. So educate yourselves beyond your majors and minors so that you will become a successful, well-rounded, complete citizen in life. As we come together today, let's not forget the AAMI slogan, spread the word across the nation. This is going to be a great generation. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our student government president, Mr. Bryce Benton.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. And also, huge thank you to Mr. Anderson for inviting me to speak and explain a little bit about what we have going on this week. I always say AAMI is one of the most influential organizations on campus in terms of leadership and participation. So really appreciate your service on campus. Been quite a busy week. I've already started homecoming, and even though we've gotten through a lot of events already, we still have some things coming up and quite a bit on Saturday. Starting with the Alumni 5K, and if there are any alumni that are in the room, thank you for coming to campus, and we hope you stick around for Saturday. We've got a lot of things going on. We have our 5K that's going to be going on at 8 a.m. Saturday morning, all the way into Preview Day, which is a huge event on campus. If you're around this weekend, please be on campus. There's a lot of high schoolers that are coming and want to take a tour of the campus, and you'll see them around. So that's going to be starting around 9:30 and go to about noon, where we have the tailgate party. Always huge thing. We have a great menu. Certainly a lot of food that's going to be there. So please come show your support. And following that, we have quite a few games going on in terms of athletics, and then we have a huge step show, I believe, later on in the evening. So it's going to be a huge day Saturday. I hope a lot of students can turn out for that and show their cane spirit. So I guess speaking in terms of athletics, have someone in the room today that's making quite the history on campus. He is the first African American men's head basketball coach, and I'd like for you to give him a round of applause. Coach Ben Hicks, come and speak.
Good afternoon. Real briefly, I would like to say what I want to talk to you guys about today is being prepared for the opportunity. Growing up, just like most kids, my goal was to play in the NBA, okay? And I had an uncle to come watch me play my freshman year in college, and the first thing he told me, nephew, I love you to death, but you're not playing in the NBA, all right? So with that being said, the steps that I've taken to become a head coach here at Georgia Southwestern State University, which I'm honored to be here, education was first. And you're looking at a guy that started off in remedial courses in a junior college. And I worked my way through college, got an AA degree, got my bachelor's degree, and also my master's degree from Troy University. Second thing I would like to talk about, I had to overcome some fear, a lot of fears actually, and public speaking was one of them. But I knew in order to be a head coach at the four-year university, that was something I had to overcome. And fear can cause a lot of people from reaching their goal. So my message to you guys today is prepare yourself, no matter what people think of you. Conquer fear and live your dream, all right? So failure to prepare, okay, you're preparing to fail, all right? So anything in life you want to achieve, make sure you prepare for it, all right? At this time, I would like to introduce someone that gave me an opportunity here at Georgia Southwestern State University, someone I work closely with, someone that I respect and honor, and that's our president, Dr. Patterson.
Almost a year ago, we were in this very same room, and I was introducing Coach Hicks as our new men's head basketball coach. And I knew at that time that he was going to do some great things for us. You can see the personality that exudes from Coach Hicks. He is a leader in his field in coaching. He's a leader to our young men on the court, and he's also a leader and a representation of leadership for this campus. And I'd like to say, too, that Irvin Anderson is that same person. Irvin Anderson is a faculty member in mathematics, but he can be found in the lunchroom. He'll be found all over campus this week during homecoming. He's not just a faculty member. He's a mentor. He's a leader. Irvin, thank you for your work with this group and everything you do for campus. Let's have a hand for Irvin Anderson, please. And it's my pleasure now to introduce our speaker. I've only had an opportunity to meet Alex Smith briefly before I came in, but I can tell you first impressions mean a lot. And you'll learn that as you go through life. A first impression can mean everything. Alex Smith graduated from Georgia Southwestern State University in 2010. And while he attended Southwestern, Mr. Smith was extremely active on campus. He served as a Zephyr during recruitment, as a resident assistant, a member of HAPS, a founding member of the Black Student Union, vice president for the SGA, the Student Government Association, and a member of the Lambda Psi chapter of the Kappa Alpha Psi. In addition to his on-campus involvement, he also worked with the Sumter County 4-H program and the Jimmy Carter National Historic Site. Upon graduating from Georgia Southwestern, Alex worked for a private company performing on government audits and worked as an advisor for hundreds of Georgia's small businesses seeking to procure government contracts. Alex later left Atlanta to attend law school at the University of the District of Columbia, UDC, the UDC David A. Clark School of Law. During law school, Mr. Smith worked as a student attorney with UDC's Low-Income Taxpayer Clinic and UDC's Housing Clinic. He also interned for the Cochran firm, their Washington, D.C. office, and yes, that is of Johnny Cochran fame, and Washington, D.C.'s Shadow Senator, which is a unique role in and of itself. Immediately after law school, Alex returned to Georgia to work as an associate in the metro Atlanta area. Today, he is a principal attorney at the A.M. Smith Law Firm and manages the Premier Neurological Institute's legal department. Alex is a member of and contributor to the Atlanta Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, the Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation, the Gate City Bar Association, which is the oldest African-American bar association in the state of Georgia, the Atlanta Bar Association, the Georgia Trial Lawyers Association, and the Georgia Bar Association. I'm honored to introduce to you the first African-American male graduate of Georgia Southwestern to finish law school, pass the bar exam, and become a practicing attorney, Mr. Alex Smith.
I didn't realize there was going to be so much. That was a lot. But I'm definitely blessed to have done so much here at Georgia Southwestern. So first of all, thank you to President Patterson for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you to AAMI for the invitation. Thank you to Mr. A. He's definitely done a lot of work. I can tell he's when I was on campus, he did a lot of work, and he's continuing to do a lot of work. I remember when in 2006 through 2010, I was out here, as we call it, running the yard, having a good time, especially with my fraternity brothers, throwing parties and going to the Kappa Sig house and just enjoying the essence of college life. I had the pleasure of living in Oaks 1, Oaks 2, Magnolia, and Pine, all when they first opened. So it was definitely a treat. I actually met my wife here at Georgia Southwestern. I was her RA. So my wife, Brianna. And I was a political science major with Dr. Klein, Dr. Berggren, and Dr. Smith. I think all of them are still here, somewhat. But some wonderful professors here at Georgia Southwestern. Georgia Southwestern afforded me the opportunity to be a big fish in a small pond, to get me ready to go out into the world where I'm a little fish in a large pond. So it definitely provided me with some wonderful opportunities. Last time I was at GSW on a stage, it was for President's Day, and I had my speech eloquently put out, and for whatever reason, I stood at the podium and I completely froze. It was as if I had reduced back down to a first grader, and I was trying to learn how to read for the first time. So completely embarrassing. After the event was over, Dr. Blanchard, who was the president at the time, came to me and he said, it's okay. He said, you'll have another opportunity. So I guess today is that opportunity, and so far I haven't frozen, so we're on a good track. So when I was brainstorming, what would I say today, I wanted to speak to, I wanted to rally you all up. You all rallied up a little bit because it's homecoming, right? You all don't sound rallied. I'm going to need to feel the energy. Where's the energy? No energy? It's okay. I didn't have much when I was a college student. I preserved it for the nightlife and got through classes. But nevertheless, I also wanted to talk about Black history and speak to my Blackness and empower the Black community. So what I came up with is critical race theory, which derived from legal scholarship in the late 1960s, civil rights era. Coming out of that, it was Delgado, who basically it's a critical analysis of race and racism through a legal point of view. Legal discourse says that the law is neutral and colorblind. However, critical race theory challenges this legal truth by examining liberalism and meritocracy as a vehicle for self-interest, power, and privilege. And so what I did is, Mr. A sent me an email and said, hey, speak to him as a college student. What got you through? And then I was in Vegas last weekend with a couple of buddies, and I said, when we were in college, what would you like to hear? And so I turned the tides a little bit, and I said, I'm not going to tell you all about theory. I'm going to tell you all something that's a little bit more practical. What got me through undergrad and got me through law school and something that I still practice today. And what is it? It's the idea and that you can be, you can do, and you can have exactly what you want if you're willing to, 1, develop your ideas and the goals, and 2, be determined to reach success. A quick search of what a goal is, it's an object of a person's ambition or effort. William Henley said, "I am the master of my fate and I am the captain of my soul." And I'm inclined to believe that, that some folks don't really cherish that quote like I cherish that quote. The idea that you can go out into the world and literally command, this is what I want, and I'm gonna have it. So, but that's what carried me through, and I'm gonna kind of shuffle my way through it so I can allow you all to, one, understand it, and two, start to apply it in your own life. So point one, your goals start with ideas. You had the idea that you wanted to graduate from high school. You had the idea that you wanted to come to college. You had the idea that when you woke up this morning, you were going to get out of bed at a particular time. And at that moment that idea hit, you had to decide either I'm going to act or I'm not going to act. And all too often, somewhere in between there, we are in our brains, we rationalize that, oh, I shouldn't do it because of this. There are about 4 or 5 reasons why I shouldn't do it. Case example, it's 2016. Going into 2017, a lot of people have goals that this year I'm going to get physically fit. So January 1, they wake up and they're like, you know what? I have a meeting to go to. I'm not going to do it. January 2, they say, oh, well, class, I have about 3 classes and I have to meet up with some friends, so I'm not going to do it today. I'll put it off to tomorrow. The next week, they come up with another excuse. They say, well, it's too cold in January. Let me wait till February. Now it's February 2nd, and they don't even have a gym membership. And now what you realize is that they basically stopped. They stopped at their idea stage. Their idea never developed. And so what I'm saying is you have to start developing your ideas. And here's how. First thing you do, as soon as the idea pops in your head, you get a sticky note or you get something that you can write it down on. That's the first thing. You need to memorialize your idea. And so once you memorialize that idea, put it in a place where you're going to always look at it. So for me, in the morning when I go into the office, I have a sticky note on my desk. And that sticky note entails all of my ideas for the day. Now, throughout the day, I'm scratching off ideas. Got that, got that, got that. By the end of the day, I've completed about 75% of that stuff. And I know today was a good day, right? Now, if I haven't, then I know that I wasn't focused on my ideas. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And so what I'm telling you all is you need to memorialize those ideas and start putting them to work. William Schultz said, "You are what you think about all day." Now, when I say I literally love this quote, because it's what you're thinking about. When I put it down on that sticky note and I constantly look at it, it's what I'm thinking about. When you all say, okay, look, I have this particular idea for school that I want to get. I want to get a 3.5 GPA. That's my idea. If you write it down, you're more apt to not forget that that's what you need to do. Hit that 3.5. So the next thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what your idea really is, because some of us really don't know. You have to be honest with yourself. When I was at GSW and I decided I want to go to law school, I realized that I had never spoken with an attorney. I didn't know an attorney. So I cold called William Rambo, who is a local attorney in Americus, and I said, hey, I'm interested in law school and I just want to speak with you. He was so gracious to allow me to come in, and he talked to me. He told me about what law school would be like and what I needed to do to get into law school. And I saw that he went to UGA for law school to get his Juris Doctorate. And at that moment, I left out. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to put my idea. I'm trying to frame my idea. And so when I walked out, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to go to UGA and go to law school. And how many of you all realize that you emulate exactly what's in front of you? So when I walked out, he went to UGA, so I said, I want to go to UGA too. So it's the same thing. It's kind of one of those concepts where people say you are, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. Your network is your net worth. It's those things that are in front of you. So when you're developing your idea, you have to go find some folks that are going to help you out. Now, that's not to say that if you don't find anyone that's going in that same direction, that you can't do it. That just means you need to pull a little deeper within yourself, and you need to make it happen. I remember I was on GSW campus, and I told a friend of mine that I wanted to go to law school, and he looked at me and he said, "You want to go to law school? How many people do you know coming from GSW going to law school?" And I'll be honest, it hurt. It did hurt. But I put my blinders on. I said, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you do, here's what I'm going to do. And so I knew that for me to make this thing work, I had to be focused. A young lady, Sarah Blakely. Anybody heard of Sarah Blakely? She is the founder of Spanx, which is a woman's undergarment. The company is based in Atlanta, but she said for 1 year after she had her idea to come up with Spanx, she didn't tell her family or friends because she didn't want to hear the negativity. Today, Spanx is a $1 billion company. So sometimes you have to put your blinders on and trudge forward. Point 2, success requires determination. Earl Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea." After you have grasped your goal, you have to have determination, which is ultimately includes progress, to reach success. I had a goal to go to law school, right? I had a goal, but during that goal, to reach the goal, for one, I had to have determination to get in. I had to have determination to finish. And I still have to have determination to run my practice. So let me give you a couple of secrets about determination, okay? Determination is synonymous with an obsession, okay? You all got it. It's synonymous with an obsession, and I'll tell you why. Because for you to really reach your goal, I'm not talking about I'm talking about far-reaching goals, the goals that you really want to achieve. You have to wake up early, and you're going to have to go to sleep late. I don't know too many business owners that don't do that. Within those first couple of years to really get it going, they have to give it all of their heart and all of their soul, and it's synonymous with an obsession. If you want to achieve a 4.0 GPA, it's synonymous with an obsession. You have to dedicate yourself to your work. So when I was studying for the bar exam, I'll give you an example. I got an offer here in Georgia, and I came back to Georgia, took off for about 2.5 months just to focus and study. When I say the bar exam is a beast, it is a beast, but it's a beast that you can conquer. So I took off for about 2.5 months, and I was studying for the bar. It was about halfway through that 2.5 months, and I took a practice exam, and I didn't get the score that I felt that I needed. So I went home and I closed my door, and for 3 weeks, I didn't leave outside the house. That's obsession. That's determination, because you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to pass the bar exam and be an attorney. And I'm saying that you all have to have that same level of determination. And just to be honest, that's where a lot of folks fall off. It's somewhere between there. They just lost the determination factor. So the second secret is, if while you're in the heat of your determination and you fail, you have to keep going. During my 2010 graduation ceremony, the speaker said, "If you're going through hell, keep going." It's a Winston Churchill quote. And sometimes your failure is synonymous with being in hell. I mean, it hurts. But you have to realize that even though you fail, you have to keep going. There are no side steps. There's no quick way around it. You're gonna fail, and it's okay. When I first got on the stage at GSW and I was given what I thought was to be a simple speech, I failed. But I've given many a speech since, and I'm here again, and I haven't frozen yet. So you're gonna fail, but you have to keep going. So in conclusion, I want to challenge you all. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an attorney, if you want to be a nuclear engineer, if you want to be an astronaut, then you need to start working today. You need to get your idea down on paper, develop that idea into a goal, and apply some determination to it. The last story. When I became an attorney, and this one might be kind of rough, but it's reality. when I became an attorney, people would come up to me and they would say, I always wanted to be an attorney. But you know what? They'd say, it's too much work, it's too much reading. And at first I would tell them, you know what, you can do it. You can do it. But then I realized I stopped. I said no, because at the point you tell me it's too much work, it's too much reading, you've already defeated yourself. You're not going to do it because you're not going to apply the determination. You only had the idea. So what I'm telling you all is that no matter what you're doing, you need to apply determination, develop that idea, and apply the determination. The last thing I leave you with is just to remember the William Henley quote, and that life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. So whatever you put out in the atmosphere, that's exactly what you'll get back through your ideas and your determination. And I think that about wraps it up. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Let's give Mr. Alex Smith another wonderful applause for that speech. I am Genesis Davis, and I am the Administrative Assistant for AAMI. Let's give a hand to our platform. We have Dr. Charles Patterson, we have Mr. Ben Hicks, we have Mr. Bryce Benton, and we have Mr. Christopher Ward. Let's give them a round of applause. We would like to personally thank you all for attending the AAMI event today. We would like you to enjoy the rest of the homecoming activities this week and enjoy the rest of the homecoming month programs. If you would please enjoy some of our light refreshments at our reception in the lobby. And again, thank y'all for coming.